You know, us here in the knife world are pretty spoiled. You know, it doesn't take too much to get a great action out of a knife. This is the Best Tech Chorus. This is almost a $200 knife. This is the Kubi Raven. This is a $60 knife. This is the Ganzo FH41. This is a $30 knife. These all have great actions. What do they have in common? Bearings. Welcome everybody back to Gideon Stuff. And today's video is about knives that don't have to rely on bearings to get a ridiculously good action. So, we all love our bearing knives. We all love that snap and that drop. But, you know what? In my opinion, it takes a lot more great engineering to come up with a knife that has a great action without relying on bearings or a spring assist. So, let's get into some knives that have great actions and they run on washers. This is not a top 10 list. There are 10 knives here. This is just a list. This is a list that I might update in the future or add to. These are just 10 knives that have great action. They're not in any particular order or anything like that. These aren't, the only knives that have good action with washers. I don't have a hinderer running on washers or anything fancy like that. But let's get right into this list. And let's start out with the classics. These are the Ontario Rats. Yeah, these guys have amazingly snappy action, and they're very, very smooth on the close as well. And inside, you've just got a combination of bronze and Teflon washers. Very, very smooth. Middle flick them. Whoops, if you don't hit your table like an idiot. Very, very nice. Yikes, I'm starting to put some serious scratches on this table. Regardless, these are both knives that have great actions, and they run on washers. The CRKT Tuna. This knife, did you see that drop? This is on Teflon washers. Yeah, Teflon washers. And it's this snappy and just this smooth. I'm not the biggest fan of Teflon, but even this knife makes me scratch my head and say, you know what? Maybe Teflon isn't all that bad. CRKT Tuna. Lucas Burnley design. Listen to this. Oh yeah, that is some good stuff. It was basically impossible for this knife to not make it on the list. This is the QSP Penguin. Oh yeah, that's on copper washers. That is a smooth knife. It doesn't make as much of a thwack as that tuna we had just a little bit ago. But man, is it smooth. And this knife here is only about $25–30 bucks. Great knife for the money, and a great action on washers. The 8015 and 8015 Lite. Both of these knives have great actions running on washers. Once you get used to the new lock, unlike what I just did there, these knives fly out with authority. I actually think this guy's a little bit smoother right now, less gummed up with dirt. Yeah, look at that. You lift that lock, it drops. Oh yeah. This is a great action on a very strong knife. It's a little bit difficult to do under the camera, but man, great knife, very tough, very fidgety, and it's running on washers. Yeah, you probably knew some Benchmades were going to make it on this list. This is the 940. Although, there are a bunch of different Benchmades that could have been on this list. For example, the Bug Out. My bug out's actually a little bit smoother than my 940 at the moment, just because I kind of carry him a little bit more than this guy. But great, great action on washers. No problems with these guys whatsoever. The axis lock, I think, adds a lot to that smoothness. Man, great, great knives. And let's stick to the crossbar style lock train for a little bit here. This is the Hogue Deca, which in my opinion has an even smoother action than those Benchmades we just showed. This guy here is just buttery smooth. All on washers. This is actually a knife that, to me, goes to prove that as long as your tolerances are right, even washers can give you an action that's among the best of the best. Just fantastic knife. That's the Hogue Deca. The Steel Wheel Midas. This is the first and actually only flipper on our list right now. Although it is not the only flipper running on washers. That's good. You could have also put the cut jack here, but I don't have a cut jack. I have a Midas. And this knife here, yeah, that's on washers. And you get just as snappy an action as you can get from some bearing knives. It all has to do with the detent and the shape of the flipper tab and making sure that your tolerances are nice and tight, which, look in this knife, there's not very much room between the blade, those washers, and the handle. Gives a great, great action. Very, very satisfying. And it can even be shake shut. Steel Wheel in general does a lot of really, really great actions with washers. And this is the Midas. The Spyderco Tenacious. Listen, that is a snap. You can get these knives for about 50 bucks, and they have phosphor bronze in the pivot, and they snap right out. Right out. Very, very nice. In fact, this knife here is snappier than my PM2. However, the PM2 does have something that this guy doesn't. Let's go talk about that right now. But this has been the Spyderco Tenacious. The Spyderco PM2. Look at this. Yep. The compression lock lets this guy be just smooth as all hell. And I wish I had more room under this camera. It's a little bit close right now. Man, that is an action that you cannot shake a stick at. Comes flying out and just swings closed so nicely. That is a Spyderco PM2. All right, and we're down to the last knife on the list. Whatever could it be? It's a Cold Steel Code 4. Whoops. There we go. I'm not doing too good today. This is a great knife overall. You'll see this knife show up on a lot of top 10 lists for price, value, just EDC greatness, and it is running on washers. Just about cut my finger off right there. You see that? It's funny. Today I sat down. I was like, you know what? I'm tired today. It's been a long day. Let's make a fun short little video about knife action. I sit down and I'm so tired I just can't even flip the knives right. There we go. This is a great knife, especially for a back lock, to be so smooth that you can flick it out like that with one thumb. That's impressive. That's very impressive. These knives go for about between 75, 80 bucks. And this is honestly one of the best bang for your buck knives you can get. Great action. Triad lock, aluminum, pretty lightweight, very thin. Great S35 VN blade, and that good action we've been talking about. That is the Cold Steel Code 4, a legend among legends. All right, so there's a list of 10 great knives that run on washers. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, what are some of your favorites from this list or ones that I left out? I've been Gideon Stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.